and obviously she didn't need to drive, but
Right.
there was some conversation about her potentially ordering an Uber or something like that, and still they prevented her from leaving.
I don't know if there was a conversation about ordering an Uber.
Okay, I might be wrong.
I've never heard that.
Okay,
This
maybe
is the
I'm wrong.
first time I'm hearing that one.
Okay.
But one thing I do know about my wife, and this is, I mean, it may not be a good thing, but we're both from the islands, and we both grew up drinking, and she could handle her liquor. She could handle, I mean, and she would drink like straight shots of tequila, and she, you know, she didn't like really drink. You know, somebody said she was mixing Mountain Dew with, somebody at the party said she was mixing Mountain Dew with, my wife doesn't even drink Mountain Dew. You know, and it's like, there was just a bunch of things that they were saying that don't add up. But my wife would have made it home. I can guarantee you that 100%.
She would have made it
Because,
home.
oh yeah, 100% she would have made it home.
But she never called you to say, come get me.
No.
Okay. So, do you think she was on drugs?
No. Well, she smokes weed, if you call weed a drug.
Okay. And even in the toxicology report and all of that stuff that was done, is there anything, did they find any particular drugs or
Yeah,
anything?
they found Xanax. They found Xanax, and but the problem with what they found with the Xanax is it wasn't in her liver, which means that it was just given to her.
It wasn't in her liver, so it hadn't settled in her body.
It hadn't settled in her body,
and it wasn't something that she takes on a regular basis.
No, she doesn't take Xanax. She doesn't have a prescription for Xanax.
Okay, so now
For Xanax.
Okay, so now, at what point are they saying that they found out that she fell over the banister?
After their original story that she tripped and suffocated in the grass, fell to crap because of all the different injuries she had on her. Because at first they were saying she was walking on a flat ground and tripped over a little thing maybe this high that holds the rocks or mulch or whatever inside. They said she tripped over that. She was so drunk that she tripped over that, fell face first into the grass, and just laid in the grass and died. That was their original story.
How far? So this is a high balcony or one where you could live, you can make it.
No, I'm not even talking about the balcony. I'm talking about their story was walking. They said their original
outside walking.
Yeah, they said she was downstairs on
outside walking.
Yeah, they said she was downstairs on the downstairs floor, the basement floor, walking, and tripped over something, and just tripped over it and went straight in the grass from standing on her feet. That was their original story. Fell face first in the grass and just suffocated and died. That was their original story. But when they found all the bruising and all the beating and all the stuff that the coroner released, then they changed up their story. Oh, no, she must have fell off the balcony.
What? Okay. Stop. Okay. So what you're telling, so I thought the story was always that they believe she fell off the balcony.
Oh, no.
So the story changed that she was, the first story was that
she tripped.
She was walking and she tripped over something on the ground, fell.
She tripped.
She was walking and she tripped over something on the ground, fell into this bushy area.
Into the grass. No, not a bushy area, a grass yard. Now, there are no bushes. Yeah, just a grass yard. Fell face first in the grass and just laid there and died. That was their original story.
So then now, they know that story isn't working because there's bruises, and then I heard
injuries and all that
the
stuff.
injuries, the way in which she was laying, the hands, the whole thing. And so then they said, oh no, she fell off the balcony.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So now talk about these injuries, because listening to your family, the injuries that they have explained to me sound like foul play. That's what they sound like. But of course, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to tell you for 100% fact that you cannot get those injuries from falling off a balcony into the grass.
Well,
Well, there's a lot of injuries that, well, I don't know if I should say them all
Okay, you
because
don't have to say
a
them
lot
all.
of
Just
them.
say whatever you feel is okay to say. Please,
Well,
anything that
this
you
is the
don't feel you
thing.
should
This
tell
is
us,
the
don't
thing.
state.
This is the thing is that a lot of people don't know the extent of the injuries, but I know them because, and this is going to shock some people, but when I went into the funeral home, I probably scared the shit out of everybody because I yelled, "What the fuck?" as loud as I could. I walked in and I saw my wife look like she had shoe polish on her face, black shoe polish all over her face. And I flipped out and I was like, nope, nope, nope. And I walked out and I told them, take that off of my wife. Take all that. Well, sir, I'm sorry, but we had to cover up the bruising and this and that. And I don't cover up the bruise. You don't cover up the bruise. You don't cover up the bruising with black shoe polish. My wife is my color, you know, but yet her skin was this color, like blackface. And so I was really pissed, and I was gonna close the casket and just leave it a closed casket. This was for the viewing, not for the funeral, but for the viewing. And so my sons came out to me and said, "Dad, what's wrong, man? Dad, what's wrong? Dad, what's wrong?" And I said, "You can't go in there. You can't see that. That's not your mom. That's not the way your mom looks." And they're like, "Dad, I don't care. I want to see. I want to see." I said, "No." I said, "These are grown man decisions. I don't want to see." I'm like, "You're making a grown man decision. You're going to have to deal with it." And he's like, "I don't give a fuck, Dad. I want to see." And that was my oldest at the time because he was pissed. And so okay, you want to make grown man decisions? Come on, let's go. So I went in with my oldest boy, and he stood next to me, and we both just stood there and looked at her, and neither one of us shed a tear because he looked nothing like her.
Wow, didn't even look like her.
It didn't look like her. And then they had, like, her wrist was all cocked up, and you could see where the bone had stuck out, like it was broken. And so then Gavin came up, which is not Peyton. Peyton didn't want to go in at all. So the one after Peyton came in and he started walking up. I said, "No." He said, "Dad, come on." I said, "You know what? It's your mom. Come on." And he walked up and he stood there and he didn't cry. And he looked at me and he said, "Dad, that doesn't."
Now,
He
how
said,
old
"Dad."
is he?
He, at the time, right now he's 14. At the time he was like 11. Okay. 11, 12, right around there. He was 11 making 12. And so he looked at me, he said, "Dad, that doesn't look like no accident." Wow. And from the time my child told me that, I said, "You know what?" I said, "Leave the casket open." I said, "Leave it open. Let everybody in here." If a 12-year-old can walk up and say, "Dad, that don't look like an accident," I said, "Leave the casket open." Wow. And the family got upset with me a little bit because Tamla was a very beautiful woman, and she would have never wanted anyone to see her
that way. Yeah.
But for my son to tell me that, I was like, you know what? No, leave the casket open. If he can see it, I want everybody in this whole place to be able to see it. And then, so after that day, I left. I walked right out. I went straight home right after that. I didn't greet anybody. I didn't say hi to people who came. I didn't do anything. And then, so I told them, get that off my wife's face now.
Wow.
And so the next day.
So she basically, the bruising that you're talking about, people saw it. And
Well, they saw a blackface.
They saw a blackface.
But you could see her, like, you could still see her arm was all twisted up, like it was like it was bent back and broke. Her, you know, there was different swelling, and you could still see some of the bruising through the blackface. So they took it all off, and the next day for the funeral, we did do closed casket, but I wanted to go in, and I told them I want to go in and I want to see my wife with no makeup on. And I want to be alone with her. So me and my sister went in, and this is what nobody knows. Is we took pictures of everything. And it is impossible It is impossible to fall. I don't care if you are Einstein. You cannot defy physics. It's impossible to have a ring-sized bruise on this side of your head, another bruise on this side of your head, a bruise right here, like a hard bruise here, one on the bridge of her nose right here, and another one down here. So how you get all over your head from one fall? That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. She had other marks on her as well, as far that looked like defensive wounds. And it was, she had scratches on her arm. I pulled up her shirt, her sleeves on her shirt, on her dress. She had linear scratches on her arm.
Okay.
How do you get that from falling off a balcony into the grass?
So what did the police say about this? And what did the investigators say? I mean, I saw that your attorney has made statements about those bruises and has said
nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. Because I wasn't telling anybody what I saw. I didn't tell. This is the first time I've ever told anybody what I saw.
Wow. Okay. But they did know that there was something about the apparent injuries, like the way that her arm was situated, that didn't seem in line with just one fall, as you said. That was sort of, that's something that I heard.
Well, it's not the way her arm was aligned, and it's not the way her arm was broken. First of all, she was right-handed. Her right wrist, like if you put up your hand like this is the only way you can get a break like that. If you put up your hand like this in a defensive posture and somebody hits you right there on your arm, this bone right here is the bone that was sticking out of her arm. That bone right there. But guess where her right hand was? Right next to her side.
So the right hand wasn't
on her face. No,
where it could have been broken on impact. It was to her side.
It was all the way right next to her side. Her right hand was right next to her side, and she was completely face down. Nobody falls like that. Both of her legs were together. Her right hand was by her side, and her left hand was at a 90-degree angle like this. Like somebody drug her there and put her there.
Like they moved her body, possibly. Okay.
No, I'm not going to say they moved her body. I'm going to say they put her body there. I will say that. I don't think she died there. I don't think she died there at all. Not with the marks that she had on her.
Okay, so now I learned that you and also I'm told that in the reports they claim they didn't know she was out there. So she had been, they don't know what time she fell. No one seems to know that. Is that correct?
Because you go to a party with a bunch of people and everybody goes to sleep at the same exact time. When does that ever happen?
How was she found? Someone is asking who found her. They don't know what time she fell. No one seems to know that. Is that correct?
Because you go to a party with a bunch of people and everybody goes to sleep at the same exact time. When does that ever happen?
How was she found? Someone is asking who found her.
The aunt, I guess the next morning, the aunt found her. The aunt who was downstairs or whatever supposedly saw her and then ran upstairs to Jean's room with Jean and Jose and said, "There's somebody in the backyard."
Okay, so now I learned about how you found out.
I apologize. Let me blow my nose. I've been crying.
It's okay. We'll give you some time. So guys, obviously you know why I am really super concerned about this and why I'm having this conversation with Lee tonight, because